Hi, everybody. Oh, welcome to this wonderful voice lesson today. I hope everyone had a very good week last week. And if you're stateside, I hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving holiday. So we're just going to give everyone a couple of minutes to just relax, join in, get settled in. I hope you've brought some water with you, maybe a pen and a piece of paper to take some notes. These types of live sessions are really just offered in the spirit of sharing. I really want to create an atmosphere where we can be together. It's such a me thing to say. I just want to be together. Create a container for practice where we can ask each other questions, where we can explore topics together. So before we really get started, I just want to remind everyone that it's my complete intention to be frequent with these types of lessons. So we will be going live every Monday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Nashville, Tennessee time. So if you need to see what time that is in your time zone, we've listed a nice little link for you to find out what time that is. So I hope everyone is doing well and has brought a nice open mind, nice gentle open mind for your own practice as we find head voice today. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump in. I'm going to be very general. I know that when it comes to head voice, or any register for that matter, it is quite tricky to pin these things down. But I just want to say that a register is simply a container for sensation. We know as we begin to activate registers, that's what we're doing. We're activating a sense of sensation. And we really just want to make it an intention that as we touch these sensations, that we're as clear with our objectives as we possibly can. So having said that, there are two ways to operate a sensation on a register. One is at the resonance end. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be focusing our airflow into our resonance and getting very, very clear about how we can aim that airflow up into that head voice space. And then there is at the chord level, and that's where a lot of people get very confused. Colleen, I think it was, asked a beautiful question before we even got started today. And she asked, I've always been interested to say, like, what is the difference between a head voice and a falsetto? And that is a really common question. That question that terminology gets used interchangeably across a lot of vocal teachers. They will mean falsetto and head voice as the same kind of thing, again, because it's more of a container for sensation. But what falsetto is specifically is at the chord level. The chords are not really maintaining the right amount of tension and intensity. So the resulting sound is like slightly disconnected sound. It sounds a little whispery or bedroomy. And yeah, it's whispery and bedroomy. So you kind of hear the breath in the sound itself. But that's not the same thing as a head voice. So remember, we've got two dimensions. One is the airflow feeding into the resonating space. That's what we're going to be focusing on today. Hello, Stefania from Italy. So we're going to really let that airflow feed into those resonating spaces, and then we'll talk at the chord level a little bit later when we develop that a little bit more. Now, why do we have to make sure we do it in this order? Well, it's kind of one of those things. If we focus here too quickly at the chord level, we might be limiting what's possible for us to get into that head voice space. So as we've said all of this, what is the sensation that we want to chime into today? We want to feel as if we're basically like whistles, like we're going to blow a whistle. That's our container for sensation, or that we're simply sighing. So let's take a second today, right now, and find stillness inside of ourselves. Feel that feeling of looseness in the neck. And if you want to just rock back and forth gently, you can do that. Just really encouraging these big muscles of the jaw, throat, the constrictors in the neck, just to be nice and loose as we gently rock our head back and forth. Whew. Good. And if you just want to sporadically release some voice, I'm down for that. So feel as if your head can be almost like a balloon. So it's weightless and there's that upward tilted energy. So feel that sensation of up, going up. Good. Just make sure to lengthen the back of the neck, nice and tall. Good. Now we want to feel that our jaw is affected by gravity. So we feel that sensation of being pulled downward. Good. And it's okay to let your face go a little dumbfounded a little bit. Really a fan of that. Good. Now from here, just release a sigh. Something that feels nice and comfortable for you, like, whoo. Good. Try this a couple of times with me. Now, can you feel that as you're working to keep your muscles nice and relaxed, the breath goes upward and feeds into those head spaces? Now, if that was a no, let's go ahead and try that together again now. Good, good. And our attitude is one of just remaining nice and loose. We're not trying to control the head voice today. We just want to get in there and find it. Feel around for where that resonance is making contact. So now let's bring in, starting at G here. We're going to feel that head going up, 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 the jaw going down, down, down. And we're just going to sigh out. And we are going to prefer that head voice. So if G is one of those notes that's like, should I go ah or ah? Just let it kind of release upward into the head spaces. Let's try this together. Good. Go ahead and try it again. Good. Feel how your breath is the primary response, feeding and flowing that voice. One more time. Go ahead. Let's take it up half a step. Don't place your voice. Just hear that A flat. Breathe in and feel where that air is making contact. Again. Good. Again. Now this is feeling really good when we're not trying to make anything happen. We're just being really still and we're letting it happen. And again, if this is new for you, even if it's not new, we can always refine our sensations a little bit more. But what I'm feeling is that the contact is being made in the back of my skull, like right in the back here. So if you want to take your hands and put them in the back of your head, just to give you a place to aim for, go ahead and feel that. One more time. Go ahead. Good again. Good again. How good it feels to just let the breath release into the head without trying to control it, without trying to shape it, without really trying to place it. We're just hearing that B flat, and we're letting the breath respond to that B flat. And we're being very keen about where we feel this happening. We're noticing that as we began the exercise down at G, we felt there was a sense of a preference going into the nose. There wasn't much of the mouth. We weren't going, ah, we weren't doing that. It's just allowing some of that resonance, some of that airflow to flow evenly up into the skull spaces. As we move through this wonky place in our range, we're noticing that we can really feel that contact being made in the back of the head. And as we're just nice and still and we're just being very keen about that sensation, we're not trying to shape, we're not trying to give any quality, we're just breathing through the experience, staying as close to the sensation and the experience as we possibly can. So let's take this up to B. If you notice that it's high, so sorry to interrupt you guys. If you notice that it's high, just narrow the throat by bowing the head. This is going to help focus that airflow into these head spaces a little bit evenly. Good. Again. Good. Again. Good. Now you also may notice that there may be some notes that are easier to find than others. The skull is a really interesting place. The nose and the head spaces have more volume of space than the mouth and the throat space do. However, it's like a cave filled with little mini caves. So you may notice that the difference between C and C sharp feels very different. If we go back down to C, that feels very familiar to me. Very pure and easy to aim the space. But if I go to C sharp, it feels a little bit more familiar now, but just a second ago, I noticed that note needed to kind of move around into maybe a separate space. And that's really, really common. Just keep your sensation, your experience focused on where do I feel the resonance where the breath is making contact? Where do I feel that flick of pressure happening in the head? You may feel it in the back of the head here, because that's an interior resonance. It strikes the back of the head, and then it kind of bebops around the skull. That's what reverberation or resonance is all about. So if you also notice that it's in the front and it helps you to keep your focus on the front of the nose, by all means, I'm really starting to feel that movement beginning to happen in my own nose. So I'm going to go here now, or I may just move around a little bit. Let's try that C sharp again together. Good. Again. Good. Again. Be still, be really still. Good. Now, I really want to emphasize because I know where we are right now. I know exactly this is a very tricky area for a lot of people, meaning that at the cord level, there might be some muscles trying to overcompensate in the sense of going, there might be some effort that's trying to be applied right here. And we're really just trying to touch. We just want to gently touch acoustically what's going on here. So we just want to be really still. So let's take that D one more time. And instead of doing nice and long, exhale, let's just go. Let's just offer up a little touch, like a flick of air. Yeah, just gently touching it nice and quick. That way we don't empower these muscles to get involved. We don't want their interference right now. You can really feel that that's happening right there. And when you feel that you've got, after you do the gentle tapping, the quick touch, good. Let's try that again together. So let's touch 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the 5th, we'll elongate it together. Good. Now just a nice long breath. Does that feel a little freer? If you felt some influence right here just a second ago. Good. Touch it 4 times. Oh, that feels good. That feels nice and good up in those brain spaces. Let's try that one again. Good. Now just nice long exhale. Good. One more time. E flat's a tricky one. Good. E natural. Same thing. Again. Good. One more time. I feel that release going up into my scalp. And I'm just kind of doing whatever I need to do. I know this is weird. I'm doing a little bit of massage gently just to keep my muscles nice and relaxed. Nice and relaxed. Sometimes we've learned that high notes equal terror. So we go, ooh. So if we can do what we need to do just to kind of meet our body right there in that trigger, we can, right there in that trigger, we're meeting our body right there, and we can just work to relax into the sensation rather than trying to make something happen. So let's keep going. Now, we've got F. We're really up into those scalpy spaces, those sinus spaces within the forehead. So we just want to aim. Be really still. Ooh, 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 ooh. Good. Just offer up some sound that just feels like quick sighing. Release into the top of the head, like whoo, whoo. Yeah, just releasing up into the top of the head. Let's try that again. Don't make anything happen here. You don't need to effort any at all. Right there. Here we go. Woo, 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 woo. Feel how the breath becomes that primary response? Good. One more time. We're going to touch and sigh. Just play with me. Ooh. Ooh. Good. Keep relaxing. If it's too high, just keep playing. Just do sirens instead. Sirens instead until we can get a nice refined touch, strike. Just be very aware where that resonance is making contact within the skull. So be really still. And if you need to, you can bow the head. We're right around the top of the head. Imagine that you've got a nice little crown on you. Right there. Ooh. Ooh. Feel the breath doing all the work. So if the muscles down here tried to effort at that, it would sound kind of shrill, like. So just feel. Just strike that right at the top of the head. It doesn't have to sound pretty. Doesn't have to sound pretty. Don't go for quality, go for sensation. Here's our A flat. Keep releasing. Keep working that release. Good. How's everybody feeling so far? Anybody want to chime in with what's hard or what's easier about these sensations? Feel free. We're here to learn together. So I really want to stress that, yes, this is high. But your body, especially your cords, don't really understand high-low. They really understand different. It's just different. It's just really different. So the tendency for a lot of singers at notes that are really high like this is to effort right here at that chord level, which only emboldens and empowers those big, limiting, constricting muscles to contract, and that vocal tract becomes collapsed. So we're kind of treating it like, I kind of playfully call it target practice. We're just gently aiming some touches of the air. And I'm refining it to my sensation of where I feel. Excellent, Jack. Excellent. Feeling the vibrations in my skull with my fingertips. Pretty cool. It is a game changer. It is the keys to the literal kingdom, which is why, if you've been following my channel for a while, I just won't let this one go, because I know how it can transform voices. If you stay with it and just play, just gently explore the back of the skull, the top of the skull, and you're really still about that playfulness, then, doors, vocal opportunities will just fling right open for you. If you feel that you've reached your tippy top, then don't go any higher, because we don't want to embolden that aggravating response here. But if you feel that you've got a little bit more room, even though the sensation is new, then I would encourage you to keep those sensations really quick. Now, the reason to keep them quick is because the vibrations are so fast. They're so fast moving. So they're like little jolts of energy. So when we go, oh, or like, boo, boo, like we can keep them really quick because we're reinforcing that they are a release. They're the release of the whole mechanism. Yeah, JC, I feel the resonances in my forehead. Excellent, excellent job. So keep that release going very, very, very quickly. Feel that you're letting it go. If when you sustain, it feels like it wants to strain, then don't sustain. Just keep your eye on the sensation of it's a release. Even if that means we're activating the response as a quick release right now. Just a gently quick, whoo, 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 like a quick release. Your body is absorbing that as how to do this. How to do this in a way that feels nice and open, nice and easy. But take your time. My favorite thing is to feel that I can do what I call target practice. It's my favorite way to practice. And it feels like meditation to me. So that's a plus. But it's exactly what we've done today. Just sit and be quiet with yourself. Let the jaw hang. Take a moment. 30 seconds, 60 seconds to feel what it feels like to let go here. Bow the head if you need to. And then just focus the air as a release up. Whether it's the back of the skull here, whether it's the nose, it's very good if you feel it in the nose. That is such a dominant resonating space. As you go higher, you may notice that it's like the itsy bitsy spider, like climbing up the back of the head. Each pitch has its own resonating space. It just gently climbs up the back of the skull and up the front of the skull. Wherever you feel it, that's where you just want to place your attention. Cannot tell you. I'm so excited for you guys. When you place your attention on even the smallest thing with your voice explodes in like most amazing way. Just again, it's like doors just open right up to you. So right now, what we want to feel is that we're placing the sensation on the release of the head voice. The sensation feels like a sigh. That's the best way that I can tell you. Just like, whew. We all know what that feels like. Been a long day. Whew, we're off gassing energy, and we're telling our body that that feels like relief. So the body picks up that sensation of relief. Connor, that's my nephew's name, Connor. No matter how high I go, I always feel it in my nose. Is that a good or bad thing? No, that's a good thing. Your nose is a beautiful, beautiful resonator. My nose is pretty big. My nose is pretty big. So if I put my pen here, just skull-wise on my head, see how little of a resonating space is my mouth, nice and pointy. But it's very big up in here. It's a cave filled with caves. Remember that. So even though it may feel like your nose, big cave, there's lots of little caves through the forehead, through the top of the nose here, sinus places here. We've got some sinus ear canals back here. Even if you feel suddenly like your ear canal itches, that happens a lot to me, where I'll just go like this. It's like, yeah, you'll pick up so much vibrations. Things will start to resonate, and that's a beautiful thing. So take a few minutes every day. Feel what it feels like to kind of meditate, kind of come into a still space, and refine your target practice. Just aim that airflow going right into that resonating space. Feel how it feels like a release right up the top of the head. If you can get this to be nice and consistent, you will actually notice that mixing becomes really easy to do. We'll talk more about that later. But I just wanted to let you guys know that if you've enjoyed this snippet here, I do have 2 modules available on Skillshare. That's about 6 hours worth of voice lessons that you can take a look at if you've enjoyed what you've learned here today. There's more to come. I'm just going to be adding lots of resources to continue your vocal practice, and it's available on Skillshare. We do have a link below where you can get your first month entirely free. So I hope that you've enjoyed today's lesson and you can check that out. But I just want to go now, if we can, to some questions for you guys that you may have. If it's related to head voice, and your experiences with head voice, I'd love to be able to answer any questions. And I also want to keep this nice and open for the next few minutes or so, the next 5 minutes. Leave comments about what you would like to learn in the next coming lives. This is completely made with love for you guys. I'm so happy to have you all here. Happy to learn together, be together. And I want to make sure that you're getting out of these lives what you want to learn. So feel free to leave them as a question or as a comment below, and I'll take a look at that and put something together for you. Sound good? So I'm just going to go through. Oh, you're welcome, Todd. Thank you for the great lessons. Thank you, Naresh. Thank you so much. I love you. I love you guys. Colleen, there you are, my friend. My head feels like, I'm sorry. This is Mabel being a little bit of a hellhound. She's awesome. She's my little guard dog. Yes, if you notice too that you get a little lightheaded, it's not so much that oxygen is going to your brain, it's just that pressure is going to your brain. And this can be an entirely new sensation. It will subside relatively quick. Just keep working on that, aiming. Your brain will neutralize to it. I know that sounds kind of scary, but your body was made to be like a resonating fork, like a tuning fork, a resonating chamber. So as your body works to integrate what you've learned into the whole of who you are, you may get sensations like a little bit of lightheadedness or a little bit of a headache now and then. Let's see. Ooh, Pietro, the fact that I'm a male and I can do this scares me. No, I think it's fantastic. I think it's amazing and wonderful. There's a lot that we have available in our voices that we may not be aware of. There's a lot of new places, new spaces that we can open up and engage. That seems pretty cool. As you're practicing, I just want to remind you that if it feels that you've gone to the top and you can't go any further without strain, then just keep it nice and easy, and just come back to it daily if you want to, and see how your range increases incrementally. Maybe it's half steps at a time. That is such a big deal, such a beautiful thing. Let's see. I'm just going to scroll really fast. Let's go to the bottom. Let's see if we have any questions. Okay, DM. Hi, Madeleine. I'd like to know how much compression is okay to use and how I cannot strain when doing some compression over time. We'll talk a lot more about that when we get into the mix and that, strengthening the chords. Compression is such a nuanced, multi-layered experience. For now, aim for that feeling of sigh into your head voice. The body actually knows how to do a lot of these things on its own. However, bringing consciousness into our patterns is a game changer, and that's what we're doing here. We want to feel that feeling of sigh, aim to the top of the skull, keep repeating that until it feels completely natural, until it feels like it's called unconscious competence, muscle memory. You don't have to think about it as you do it anymore. Your body understands compression, especially along the spectrum of emotional intensity, because that's how we cry. That's how we sob. That's how we whine. That's how we do all of those things. So those elements are very emotionally impulsed as well, but we will get into that. That's a slightly advanced question. But I would say in terms of how much compression, swing, that's the word I'm trying to say. Swing over to the opposite side of it where it feels like really, really light. Work it along that lighter end. See if you can bring intensity just using the breath. Focusing again on where that breath is making contact inside of your skull. That will increase your intensity. Quick jolts of intensity. I hope that was helpful, but that was a really good question. How does one expand their range and not strain, Leanna? Well, this is in the South, they say, like, it's a real humdinger. This is it. This is a lot of, I think all of the vocal issues can be traced down to one thing, and that is the breath being the primary response. Now, because the voice is super smart, it understands what's happening and what you want to happen. For example, if I'm singing a song and I suddenly get freaked out, maybe I'm singing in front of someone and I'm having a fear response, my voice is going to respond with something that it's going to try to protect me because I'm having that anxious fear response. Everything constricts. I'm trying to control the experience. But if I practice and I allow myself to kind of pull things apart down to their core essence, this target practice is a big game changer. It redirects, it creates flow, it restores flow back to the voice. It restores the breath as the primary sense of flow to the voice. It seems very simple, and I find that things that are very profound generally are very simple, even though their applications are very complex. There's lots of different ways you can do it. Just come to this every single day. Stop with where it feels, the last note that feels comfortable. Keep aiming on the last note that feels really comfortable. And then the next day, come back to it to see if you can explore just a little bit more. What you're doing is reinforcing a sense of awareness about the air flying right up into the headspace. So the more you do that, the more muscle memory you'll have for that. And let's say when you come back into the situation that would freak me out, like singing in front of people, generally would freak me out, then I would notice that now I have these behaviors. There's this habit of the breath carrying all of the sound, and I don't necessarily feel that I have to control the process anymore. I can just relax and allow that good work, that good training to do the bulk of the work for me. My head can fly now because it feels super light. Yes, I'm very happy about that. Very, very happy about that. We will get into how this translates into more complicated aspects of the voice at the chord level a little bit later. And the whistle is a part of that. So yes, I'll be sure to put something together. Can you show how to switch fast between chest and head voice as artists like Charlie Puth or Marina and the Diamonds? Oh, I like Marina and the Diamonds. Find it hard to try to, okay. For that, because that's slightly different than what I wanted to go into today, we will talk about that, especially when I do believe Thursday, I'll be talking about the chest voice. So be sure to check back in then, and we'll see if we can do some connective work between head and chest voice then. But a great way to do that, that's just really, really easy, and it's very simple, is some sirens. Some sirens. The voice is controlled entirely by sensation. Entirely by sensation. So if you can spend time with your voice, and that's why I love doing this target practice work. If you spend time with your voice and you're basically acting like a nice, gentle teacher to yourself, and you're engaging your body and you're going, okay, this is what I would like to feel. And you do that fully aware of the way that it feels, then you can recreate that feeling in your vocal work. And that's how it translates. That's how vocal habits translate. It's not directly connected to how it sounds. It's always connected to how it feels. Always connected to how it feels. When you can aim into the sensation of being able to engage based off of experience and sensation, then you can kind of get in there and play around a little bit. And again, the way that it sounds a lot more nuanced, and you have a lot of opportunity to play with that. So there you have it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson. It's been amazing seeing you, especially the more we do of these and the more I see you guys consistently. I'm recognizing a lot of the same names here. I'm super happy to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you want to come back to this video, this will be on YouTube. If you want to come back to this video daily and use it as a way to explore your head voice further, I would so love that. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And I can't wait to see you again on Thursday. I'm going to try to do these Mondays and Thursdays at 12 p.m. Nashville, Tennessee time. So we do have a link below if that is, if you're not quite sure what that means for your time zone. But thank you so much for being with me. I love you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And if you're overseas, I wish you sweet, sweet dreams. Bye, love.